Hello, hello, hello. My name is Dustina. This is Spiritual Boujee Astrology, and we're going to take a deeper look at the full moon in Aries and what it is doing for you. Now, before we do any type of breakdown, I got a quick little reminder for everybody. I said it in the week ahead forecast. I'm saying it again here. I am running a $25 flash sale this week only on my readings. 60 minutes, one-on-one over Zoom. We go through the astrology, we go through the tarot, we look at candle magic if we need to, we look at the synastry, whatever you need to do, because I look at my sessions more like life coaching sessions than anything else, and helping people move with the astrology and move with the energy. You have until Sunday to book with me at the discounted rate. After Sunday, they go back up to full price. That's $35 for new clients and $50 for existing. So you have just a few more days. It's Thursday right now, Thursday for the full moon. You have until Sunday to book your session at the discounted rate. And my contact information is listed in the description of every single episode. Okay. It's really funny to me how often some of you guys will go and listen to other people. And I know you do. It's the human effect. Everybody's going to go listen to everyone that they can. They want to absorb as much information because a lot of the ways, for a lot of people, that's the ways that you're learning. And that's great. I don't mind that. But I think it's hilarious that you will hear something from another reader and then come to me going, is this full moon really going to be like fire and brimstone? It's like, it's not. It's not. But it makes me giggle. It makes me laugh because there's so much of this energy that it's not just about one transit. It's not just about that one moment. There's energy that leads us up to said moment. There's energy that follows said moment. So looking at one transit as just as what it is can really limit the scope of what you're dealing with. Since the middle of July, we have been in volatile energy, and I have not sugarcoated that in any type of way. We went through all the stuff in July. We went through the hot mess Mercury retrograde that was August, Mercury shadow period, that first 2 weeks of September. Then we went into eclipse season. And I actually said eclipse season was going to be the nicer of the energies. And believe it or not, it has been. But I also said this whole timeline was going to have a lot of emotional triggers and emotional reactions. Over the course of this week, we've had two transits that are peaking the actions, the reactions, the necessity of what we need to be doing. Earlier this week, we had an exact square between Sun and Mars. This full moon is squaring two planets. One is Mars, the ruler of Aries. The other is Pluto. Now, that's not as exact, but Pluto's been playing a very heavy hand in the energy. Since the beginning of September, when Mars went into Cancer, we've also dealt with Pluto going back into Capricorn. And I said forever, I've been saying it forever, I swear I have. We have unfinished business. Old wounds, old behaviors, old tendencies, old situations, old things that need to be dealt with that are coming back up to the surface. Insecurities, bad behaviors, the deep-seated wounds that we don't like to talk about, that we don't realize have impacted some part of our personality. But over the last 5 weeks, 6 weeks now, it's closer to 6 weeks, we've been forced to deal with old wounds from a new perspective. And it is this week between the Sun-Mars square exact, the full moon in Aries exact, and the coming square between the Sun and Pluto. And then whenever we get into the first week of November, that first of oppositions to Pluto. That's going to have its own topics later, by the way. So much of the energy is about the actions that we take to get over the past, to break the old behaviors, to overcome the old trauma, to heal from the old wounds from a new perspective. And that, in a lot of ways, is Mars and Cancer. this full moon in Mars' sign is one of two lunations that we have back to back that are ruled by Mars. Yeah. The next lunation, the new moon that we will have that 1st of November, that first few days, that's a new moon in Scorpio. That's a new moon in a Mars ruled sign. So much of this energy is about the actions, the reactions, and how we are moving ahead, how we are moving forward from here. In a lot of ways, we have to take new steps into something. But we're not all completely sure or completely ready for what we're about to get into. For some of us, we got questions. Are you sure we got to do it this way? Isn't there another way? Isn't there one that isn't so fire and brimstone? It's not fire and brimstone. But there's a peak energy of actions and reactions. Now, for some people, if the action you are taking is to leave something or someone behind, because a lot of times full moons have to do with completions. Although this is a full moon in a cardinal sign, and a lot of the energy between now and springtime, because this is supposed to be an eclipse. It's supposed to be a full moon eclipse in Aries, but it's not. So it's creating a level of energy that will take the next 6 months to play out to when we finally do have the eclipse in Aries, the one that closes out the cycle. So much of the energy since July has been preparing us for now. And whatever we start to do over the course of the next few weeks, through these two lunations and through the changes within Mars, we're going to try to take very hopeful, inflated actions in a certain direction, thinking we got it all figured out. And the universe is going to humble us and show us we didn't have everything as figured out as we thought we did. Regardless of whether you know what energy you're going into or not, it'll show you, hey, you weren't quite as ready as you thought. You missed something. And it's going to take us back to the drawing board. But right now, we're not at that stage. We're taking steps. Now, the only thing about Aries is that this side of Mars, it is very impulsive. It is very reactive. And given the condition of Mars in Cancer, a lot of the impulsive decisions, a lot of the reactive decisions, a lot of the momentum and the steps that we are taking forward, the motivations that we are moving with are emotional. People aren't thinking clearly. People don't have control of their emotions. And they are doing things from an emotional standpoint versus a logical one. And for many of us, that's going to come back and bite us in the ass. It is. We let our egos get in the way. That hot-headed energy gets in the way. But that doesn't mean you made a mistake. There are some times that we have to take certain steps forward. We have to do the certain thing just to learn the reality, just to learn the lesson from it. And over the course of the next 2.5 months, that's exactly what we're going into. We're going to try to take some steps forward, have a very hopeful, yeah, it's all going to go great. It's all going to go right. And then there's going to be confusion. And then it's going to be like, oh, no, it's not going right. I didn't have this figured out after all. I think I messed up. Or you do have it figured out and somebody else says that they can't continue with it. Like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. Doesn't mean that you're not doing it correctly. It's just like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And again, something is not going to stick. I know I always bring the future stuff into it, but it's never just one transit. It's never just one situation. And it's never just one pattern. Now, the thing about the other planet that this full moon is squaring, which is Pluto, is simultaneously Venus is going through a sextile with Pluto from also a Mars ruled sign. Mars is hosting a lot of planets right now. It is hosting Chiron, it's hosting the full moon itself, it's hosting Mercury in Scorpio, and it's hosting Venus in Scorpio. We are very aware that the action that we are taking requires overcoming. It requires conquering our fears and not letting certain things get the best of us. It requires blind hope. And again, can some of that come back and bite us? Absolutely. But does that mean that you shouldn't try or you shouldn't move forward or you shouldn't go into something? No, it doesn't mean that at all. Trial and error is not a bad thing. And for many of us, the energy that is starting to develop right now is taking us into a timeline of trial and error. We are meant to have gains over the next few months, but it's also a test. It's also the trial and error. It's also making sure we can have more solid footing. And for some people, you won't, because again, you are reacting emotionally. And I know that's going to make some people mad. I have control of my emotions. Do you really? Because I don't think you do. If you have control of your emotions, me saying that to someone else wouldn't bother you. But for a lot of people, I know some of the things that I say, it bothers you. It gets under your skin. You're like, "Urgh." I get it. What I'm saying is not meant to trigger. What I'm saying is meant to aid. It is meant to help. It is meant to guide. It is meant to help you see little patterns in people, in the world, in what you're doing. Because again, a lot of the things that we are doing in the month of October, we are coming back around to them in January and February. I will keep saying this, and you will still have the nerve to be surprised. We have to get over the past. We have to get over the wounds. We have to take the right steps in the right way and take the right action to be able to let go of an old way of thinking and then focus on the new. For some of you, that requires, again, a strategy because Mercury is now in Scorpio. It's going to require a little bit of sneakiness. It's going to require doing things in the shadows, keeping some things to yourself, those cards very close to your chest, not showing everything that you have in your playbook. And that's okay. If that's what makes you feel confident, if that's what makes you feel secure, I understand it. I do. But for a lot of people, what will happen around this full moon is going to have excitement. It is going to have action. It is going to bring up emotional wounds. And it is going to have us acting in emotional ways because Mars is in Cancer. The thing about Mars is the disruptor. He is the god of war. But that disruption can either be chaotic or pivotal. And I've said this before. Pivotal disruption, again, it's recognizing you're taking steps for trial and error. That's pivotal disruption. Chaotic disruption is showing your ass, acting like a child, Aries placements, sorry. Sorry. Acting like a child and letting your emotions get the better of you. There's an old saying, revenge is a dish best served cold. Reacting in the moments is not in your favor. But a lot of people are going to struggle with not reacting in the moment. There will be reactions. There will be consequences. There will be steps taken into a new direction with very inflated egos. We're going to hope for stability. And a lot of us will have waves of hopeful stability, especially like right after the full moon perfects, because Venus is going to go into Sagittarius and the moon will be in Venus's sign. There will be hopeful energy that follows the full moon. You will feel confident about your reaction. You will feel relieved that you finally did it, that you finally said something, that you finally got something off of your chest. But that small moment of reaction will still have consequences. It'll still have totality. It will still require making a move. Some people are ready for a move. Others, not so much. They will feel blindsided. And if they're being blindsided by something, then there too will be a reaction. Well, this isn't what I want. I don't want to be together anymore. I don't think this is working out for me. We were fine a week ago. We've been fine for weeks. What has changed now? Why now? I just don't like it. It's making me feel weird, making me feel off, feeling the pressure. Absolutely. Especially the cardinal signs, by the way, feeling the pressure. For the cardinal signs, this is a hellacious full moon. Cancer risings, I said Virgo. Cancer risings, Aries risings, Capricorn and Libra risings. It's a hellacious full moon because all of your angular houses are activated. Pluto is in Capricorn, full moon in Aries, Mars is in Cancer, Sun is in Libra. It's a hellacious full moon for you guys because you're feeling all of it in the harshest and deepest of ways. After that, for a lot more people, there is a setup in the energy, a rotation, a movement into something. For some people, it will be internal. If you are a cardinal rising sign and it's internal, I will be very surprised because I feel like for a lot of you, the internal has been boiling and now the external is going to come out somewhere in this week. Some of you, it already happened earlier in this week with the Sun Mars square. For a lot more people, it's going to come out in the full moon. Emotional reactions. The action and the steps that we take to get over the past, to get over the wound, to get over the trauma, to let go and move towards something different, move into something new. Some people are ready to take the action. For other people, it's a shock to the system. And what will follow again will be another form of emotional reactions. Okay. For those that have never been a part of a full moon or new moon episode, that is fine. I read everything from a whole house system. I do not care if your ascendant is at 2 degrees or 22 degrees. The entire zodiac sign that your ascendant is in is your first house. And then every numerical house that follows is associated with the next zodiac sign. So with that being said, for Aries and Aries risings, I am getting all set up right now. Okay. Move it. Okay, there goes. I'm sorry. Hi. Hi, Aries. How are you doing? How you feeling? Where are you feeling restless? Where are you ready to kind of jump out of your skin? What is starting to bother you? What are you questioning? For many of you, it's about your home life. It's about what you're doing at home. It's about your relationship. It's about your career. It's about your future. It's about everything. You're vibrating out of your skin. A lot of you are. This is a full moon in your first house. And for many of you, you desire so deeply to take actions to change something. You want the change. You want the transformation, but you guys want it all at once. And that's not an option. It's going to take time. Again, so much of the energy that we are going into is a continuous flow of something that's going to last for the next 6 months. 6 months. Oh, you guys had a card like fully pop out. Of course you did. And that's a hard pill to swallow because you guys like instant gratification. You like instant movement. You like instant change. And that's not an option. It's not an option. What's going on with the family? What's going on in your home life? What's getting disrupted in this area? Is there a desire to move? For many of you, there are. Is there something going on with your mother's? Mars is in the 4th house. That's a home life thing. Is there something going on with just your parents in general and you're having to accept certain truths that you were not anticipating? It's not an easy moment. You're feeling the tension. You're feeling the stress. You're feeling the pressure. And for a lot of you, it's stirring insecurities up to the surface. Pluto in your 10th is not helping. First card, we have the 5 of coins. It's a desolate card. It's a bankrupt card. It's not feeling like certain things are going to go your way, or it feels like something is too good to be true. It's a mix of the two. So for some people, it's the too good to be true. For other people, it's going to be things aren't going your way. Things are starting to cost you money. It's a hard pill to swallow. Now, your next 2 cards. We have the Knight of Swords and we have the Queen of Swords. There's a lot of conversations being had. There's a lot of truths that are coming to the surface. For many of you, you have truths coming to the surface. You are wanting to take certain approaches to things. You are wanting to pursue things. You are wanting to go in a different direction. And for you to make the change, that level of change, that level of transformation, Pluto in your 10th, that level of transformation, you have to give it time. Wheel of Fortune. You have to give it time. You have to give time to pursue your heart's desires. You have to give time for things to fall into place. You have to give time to heal. There's so much change that is on the horizon. Change within your children, change in your home life, changes within and around you. And mark my words, Aries risings, who you are right now is not who you were 2 years ago. And it will not be anywhere close to the same person that you're going to be a year from now. The next 6 months has so much rapid change to it. And you guys are making a crap ton of changes. It's going to put more responsibility on you. It's going to put more awareness on you, good and bad, the things that you've done, the things that you won't do, because you've learned hard lessons. I'm done doing that. I'm not doing that behavior anymore. There are so many changes coming through, and you guys are having a very hard time sitting still because many of you are making the changes right now. Many of you are making the changes, making the decisions to make the change. And again, you're going to want instant gratification. That's not an option. And your impulsive decisions that you are making right now, because many of you are making very impulsive decisions, they're going to come back come January and February. It is better to have diligence, to read the fine print. Utilize this sword energy of the Queen of Swords and the Knight of Swords. I'm just picking up the same cards again that we've already dealt with. Read the fine print. Have those conversations. Try not to jump into every situation. Don't run headfirst into every wall right now, because I'm telling you there will be repercussions. And I know some of you choose to learn your lessons the hard way. Just remember, when shit comes up later, you chose to learn lessons the hard way. Okay. Okay. We're going to get to Taurus and Taurus risings. Oh, my loves, my loves, my loves. Oh, this is a full moon in the 12th house, the unknown, the unseen endings. Venus, your good old time lord, is in your 6th house of health. How are you feeling? How is your stomach? How's your chest? How are you breathing? How are you feeling right now? Something is coming to a close. It's adjusting the way that you take care of yourself. It's adjusting the way that you are taking care of another person. I think I said your chart ruler is in Libra. I didn't. I mean, I said the sun is in, I meant the sun is in Libra. Your chart ruler is actually in that 7th house of relationships and partnerships. We're starting to look at the idea of a commitment with another person. That commitment can potentially be disrupting your routine. That commitment can be changing some things in your household, within your family. Some of you have made decisions and now you feel stuck. But I'm going to remind you, you made those decisions on your own. If you are feeling stuck in something, it's very likely that you're the one that put yourself in that situation. And I know you're not going to like hearing that, but it's the truth. Doesn't have to be fire and brimstone, going back to that little pun from earlier. But don't expect every situation to be an easy one right now. Don't expect every person that you're trying to make commitments with and partnerships with, that you're doing financial deals with right now. Don't expect them all to be as honest and forthright and stable as you. Don't expect it. Not everybody is on your page. Not everybody can do the things that you do. And again, if we are making impulsive decisions right now with the wrong person, with the wrong people, it can come and bite us in the ass. It's a very interesting set of cards, by the way. So the first one that we came up to is this boss bitch card. I always call the 9 of coins a boss bitch card. Boss bitch energy, 100%. It is a woman that planted her own seeds, grew her own crops, harvested them, and took them to sale in charge of her own money. Very solo energy. And you still got Uranus in the first. There's a very solo energy that's best for you guys. Being independent of other people, not being so reliant on other people. Uranus has taught a lot of you something by having that energy. 9 of coins. However, many of you have been starting to make decisions over the last few weeks, or you're about to make those decisions that are going to put you in a position to where you feel stuck. The thing about the hangman is he can get himself loose. He put himself in this situation. He can get himself out of it. It just requires those decisions. Many of you have already made decisions that now that you've made them, now that you've committed to them, now that you've allowed them to happen, you feel stuck. And if you don't look for a way to get yourself unstuck, you're not going to like how the rest of the year is going to go. We have this combative energy. We have this devil card, and we have the Tower card. I'm not any of y'all's friends right now. I already know that. When you guys see these pictures later, you're going to be like, what the hell is that, Dusty? Look, Mars is going to go into your 4th house of home, life, and family. So I'm going to play very big devil's advocate to this Tower card. It is the only card really that speaks to a structure in the tarot. The Mars retrograde is going to start in your 4th house of home, life, and family. The decisions that we are making in this full moon can be our own undoing later when Mars goes retrograde. And many of you are already making these decisions that are going to later make you feel like you are stuck, that you're in a situation that you did not anticipate to be in. And it's going to, again, stir up those old wounds and those old behaviors, toxic patterns. And for many of you, it's going to be around family, around your home life, roommate situations, things around your mom, things around your other family members, potentially things with your siblings, with Mars going through your third house right now. Some of you are going to be getting called to do extra travel outside of your normal area. You're going to be traveling for work and you're going to come back and find messes. And I'm not talking about just small messes. I'm talking about like something big has happened over the next few months. And it's going to make you immediately regret the decision that you put yourself into. People will disrupt your peace. They will disrupt your space in a multitude of ways. But whatever you are starting to move into, you're making the decision yourself. Whatever insecurities are getting stirred up, you made the decisions that put you into the situation. And you will have to make the decisions to get yourself unstuck. If you are making decisions right now that are going to be heavily impactful to your home life, moving someone in, moving in with the new boyfriend, the new girlfriend, the new roommate, whatever, if you are making some kind of decision tied to other people, I think you are looking at the possibilities like, I'm going to save all this money. I'm going to be in charge. I'm going to be doing my thing. I'm like, yeah, I'll be good. I'm fine. And then later on, you're going to realize that's not quite the case. Be very, very, very aware of the decisions you are making right now. Also expect being blindsided. That's more of a mundane thing whenever it comes to a full moon in the 12th. Being blindsided, having insecurities, having things from the past coming full circle. And again, so much of us have had unfinished business in this energy. So you can be blindsided by something just as much. It can put you into reactive decisions just as much. But those reactive decisions in the long run over the next few months is going to mess with your money. It's going to mess with everything that you've been doing. So you need to be very, very aware and weigh the pros and cons completely of the decisions that you are making. Because the last thing I want to see, I could ever see a Taurus rising willingly want to do is lose money. Okay. Lose money, lose comfort, those types of things. All right, moving along. We're going to get to Geminis, Gemini risings. Okay, my loves. Now, this is a full moon in your 11th house of friends, network, clients, colleagues, surrounding yourself by people, looking at the pros and cons of who you are trusting. Some of you are doing something different with the way that you connect with people that is also going to impact you financially. Why do I say that? Because it is a full moon in your 11th house of friends, squaring Mars in your second house of money, and your chart ruler, Mercury, is in the other Mars-ruled sign. Something is coming to a completion for a lot of you. You are realizing something about the people that you've been doing business with, that you have been surrounding yourself with, and that in this energy, in this pattern, in this behavior, you're not for the situation. You're not okay with what is going on. You're not okay with how things are working, and you want to make a change. You want to do something different. Different is coming. Now, depending on when different comes in, if it comes in before November 9th, that's a good thing. If it comes in after November 9th, you start working towards something new, and it comes in after November 9th, A little sketchy then. A little sketchy in ways that we can't necessarily control, and it will have layers to the situation that we're not necessarily prepared for. Now, the reason I'm saying that timeline is because it's around November 9th, and I'm saying it loosely. I'm pretty sure it's the 9th. I forgot to look this up exactly. But that's when Mercury is going to go into shadow. And then by Thanksgiving, Mercury will be retrograde. And that's going to happen in Sagittarius. We're going to talk about that later. But for many of you, the next two lunations that are going to occur are going to have to do with that energy. It's going to have to do with the negotiations and the commitments that you're making to other people, this change in your routine, the change in who you are surrounding yourself, who you are trusting, who you are believing. There are changes in this area. Now, the one thing that a Gemini sun can say to a Gemini rising is we can see both sides of the story. We can see both ways of how to overcome something. And two things can be true simultaneously. And if you can see that there's going to be one level of frustration, one level of undoing, one level of energy where you should not be trusting a person, then you should also be playing the other side as to how you are going to win, how you are going to overcome, how you are going to step into another form of personal power. Both truths are necessary. Both sides are necessary. And you guys are about to be very, very busy with a lot of things on your plate over these next few months before the end of the year. I mean, when I'm saying that, I'm like before the end of the year. Okay. We want to start making changes with the people that we are surrounding ourselves with. This is a full moon in your 11th house of friends. For some of you, that is going to require cutoffs. That is going to require letting people go. That is going to require, again, an exit strategy, but it won't be an immediate one. It'll take weeks to fully put into effect. It's impacting your money. That promise, that behavior, that tactic, it's impacting your money. That complaint from a client, that's impacting your money. Something will be coming to a close soon. And the Tower card was the first card that came out, by the way. What was followed by that, though, is awesome. We have the Sun card, we have the World card, we have the Chariot card. Moving this forward, the more things come to light, the more things are getting revealed. It is shaping, again, your trek of what you're seeing in the world, what you're experiencing in the world, of what is going to be taking you to the next level. With the Chariot card, everything is in motion. And there is no ability to pull back on the reins, to stop the situation. There's going to be new things that come through in the weeks ahead. We have the Ace of Cups. Now, with as fast as the movement is, you will question the good coming through, the bad coming through. You will wonder about every missed opportunity. Your head is spinning. And for many of you, now that Jupiter in your first has turned retrograde, you don't feel the same way about certain people that you love, certain people that you've surrounded yourself, certain people that you have trusted. There has been a withdrawal within you. I don't want to be attached to this. I don't want to be a part of certain things. And again, we can be mourning that energy of I've let someone in that I shouldn't. I've trusted someone that I shouldn't. I believe someone that I shouldn't. And that can mean having to let go of certain people that you've surrounded yourself with. There is an adjustment. There is a change. For some of you, you will mourn a loss. For others, you're going to feel like you're going to conquer the world. And it's going to feel great. It's going to feel magnanimous. It's going to be fast. Fast, 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 fast. And once we start to get into November, There is some fast moving energy coming. Okay, moving along. For Cancers and Cancer risings, oh my loves, I know you're vibrating through your skin. I know you are the ones that are struggling the most, especially if you don't have a malefic in your first house, like you don't have a Saturn in the first, you don't have a Mars in the first, like you're not used to this energy. I know y'all are struggling. I know that because y'all been in my DMs. Mars in the first can make you very motivated. It can really make your skin vibrate. It can make your blood boil. It can make it hard to sit still, make you very, very accident prone, and also make you very aggressive and very bitchy. However, if you are using this energy appropriately, there are goals in mind, goals for the future, direction, a path. And a lot of you, whatever is going next has to do with your career. We're wanting to make career changes. We're wanting to pursue something. We are making career changes. We are about to pursue something. There's so much fire in the energy around you that you know what to do. You feel it. It's just a matter of letting go of the fear, not letting fear control you, not letting fear hold you back anymore. And for many of you, this isn't just about career. This is also about partnership. It's about those final lessons in relationship. It's about those final lessons in who you share your space with. Now, those final lessons have to do with Pluto in your 7th house. Since the beginning of September, Pluto has been back in this area, giving you one more layer of testing when it came to partnerships and relationships. And it was showing you one more final glimpse of, if you stay in this pattern, this is it. This is all that there will be, because you are allowing for yourself to stay stuck in this rut. However, for others, that final glimpse of the other side, the other person, that legal matter, that partnership, whatever it is, whatever Pluto in the 7th has represented for you, that final glimpse of that is what's shaking you to your core and making it so where you can't sit still, and for you to be able to have the future you desire, for you to be able to have the success that you desire, for you to be able to make the future steps that you desire, for you to be as happy as you desire to be, you have to make a change. You have to make the change. And you're going to have to leave some people behind, especially the people that are going too slow for where you're going next. The old way of doing things, the person that contains, the partner that contains. We have to face those things that we have not wanted to face. We have to escape that mental prison in so many ways. Because whatever you start to move towards next is so much better than where you have been. 6 of Swords. So much better. It doesn't matter where you go next. It doesn't matter where you take your next steps, where you open your business, where you move to, where you start your next chapter of your life. Wherever you want to go next is better than where you've been. There's achievement. There's a path. There is a passion. There is a desire to get something accomplished, to do something, to let go of the old toxic pattern, and to finally have something that speaks to your heart's desires and offers stability. And one of the things I love about the 4 of Wands is I think of it in this aspect of a chair. You want all 4 chair legs firmly on the ground before you put your ass on the seat, because if they're not, then you're going to fall on your face. You're going to fall. It's going to hurt. You've already been dealing with hurt. You've already been dealing with pain. You've already been dealing with the mishaps of mistrust, trusting a friend, trusting certain people, trusting a business partner, trusting your husband, trusting your wife, trusting someone, and having a repeated pattern of your trust being broken. You have to let go of these final lessons of Pluto in the seventh. We have to let go of those final fears of having to fight for every relationship to be a certain way, when your relationship should not be a fight, it should be your peace. If your relationship is your peace, then your focus is the future. And you are in charge of so much in this energy. You are capable of obtaining so much over the next 6 months. Look at the challenges, look at the opportunities. Take those steps. I don't get to say this to many people, but taking the risk is actually a good thing for you right now. Take that risk, but don't do it impulsively. Look at the numbers, look at the possibilities, weigh the pros and cons, and make sure whatever you go towards next, whatever you move towards next, that you have as much solid footing as possible, because again, something will come back around in January and February. And you will be doing some revising, removing, redoing some things. And there will be pressure then, and I'm not sugarcoating that. But you also can't avoid this energy either. You have to do things. You will do things. You can't go through every single day not making a decision. You can't. So make those decisions, but be sure. And if you're going to be doing something where you're going into big things in business, buffer. You promise people a timeline. You promise people a return. You promise people something. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. Well, I can have this done in 2 weeks. I can be there in a month. Nope, add extra time. I can have that new product, that new thing, add extra time. If you think it'll be 2 weeks, sunshine and rainbow situation, you think it'll be 2 weeks? No, add time. Cover your bases. It's the best thing for you. Okay. Okay. Moving along. For Leos and Leo risings, my loves. Oh my goodness. Now, this is a full moon in your ninth house, which is an education house. It is a travel house. We can be having something going on with the kids at school, with your schooling, depending on your age, We can be having something going on in regards to travel in this energy. We can have things going on that are testing your faith, testing your knowledge. You can also have something that is taking you to different institutions. Now, with the ninth house, a lot of times there are institutions involved. Now, when I say institutions, I want to be clear about this. There's a lot of things that can be an institution. A bank is an institution. A school is an institution. A prison is an institution. Why would you say prison, Dusty? It's so weird. I'm bringing that up because the ruler of this full moon is in your 12th house of the unknown, the unseen, and endings. A prison can be a part of the 12th house. It's not that way for everybody, but hey, it can be a part of the 12th house. Now, your chart ruler is in Libra. And in many ways, you guys are questioning some of the decisions that you have made. Did you make the right decisions? Have you been doing the right things? Did you learn the right lessons? For some of you, you are learning new things about your health, because Pluto in the 6th has brought something back to your attention that you thought you were over, you thought you were able to let go of, and that's not necessarily been the case. You have some fine tuning to do. And then what's going to happen is a whole different level of opportunity and passion in the weeks ahead. not just around this full moon. Oh, we're going to be wanting to move ahead with something or someone. Now, that someone is probably going to be somebody different. And for a lot of you, one of the things that you're going to struggle with is whether that someone is the right person to do something with. In a lot of ways, it's not. Now, one of the things that has happened in the last week and a half is Jupiter turned retrograde in your 11th house of friends. For many of you, there was somebody in your surroundings, a friend, a client, a colleague, a partner in some way, that in their energy, you've seen a turn. You don't trust them the same way. You are not looking at them the same way. You don't believe certain things with them, around them in the same way. Something is adjusted. You've seen something differently. And for many of you, whatever that is going to be a very hard truth for that person to hear. Yeah, I don't think we should be friends anymore. I don't think I should do business with you. I don't know that I can trust you. And there are very big truths that are going to be a part of this. And whenever certain people hear those things, again, they're not going to take them well, because Mars in Cancer, people are very much struggling with their emotions. But so are you. Some of you are struggling with the idea of how you let go of the past, how you heal. Some of you are not struggling at all. Instead, you're seeing an opportunity come through to how you help others heal. Page of Wands. Come clear. Come on. Okay, Page of Wands. There you go. And it's making you reconsider the path that you have been on. So many of you are at a fork in the road. You've been going in one direction, going in one mindset, going with one thought, and now something else is coming through. For some of you, that is going to be the steps that you take to overcome an old pattern. For some of you, that new path is going to be the steps that you take to get away from those secrets, from the lies, from the stuff that's been going on behind your back, from those things that are boiling to the surface. For others, it's going to be a way that you can achieve more. There's a luck energy. These two actually came out directly together, by the way. There's a luck energy involved. Your luck is changing. And considering Venus is about to go into your 5th house, your luck is changing. It won't change immediately. It might take a few days before that will fully kick in. But that's one of the things that happens after this full moon perfects. Same day, Venus is going to go into Sagittarius. As Venus goes into Sagittarius, we're going to have elements towards the idea of a hopeful stability, turning something around. And that's a good thing. There's a lot of possibilities here, a lot of buildup in this energy, and a lot of esteem that can come through. Respect, people seeing you differently, seeing how you have healed, seeing how you have helped them heal. And it is their stories that gives you peace, that gives you hope, that makes you feel like you are in the right path to reaching that next part of your higher self, to reaching the new levels of people that you wish to reach. And it's showing you more and more opportunity as to how you can move forward and not be so stuck in the past. Taking steps forward, not remaining stagnant, finding a new way to speak, finding a new way to be heard, finding a new ground of people to spend your space with, to allow in your space, to trust, to share with. There's so much possibility to it. And wherever you go next is better than where you've been. It's just finally trusting the next place, the next steps, where you go next. It's going to take a few weeks for the trust to fully set in, for it to be fully okay, for you to be fully aware of the possibilities beyond. And that's okay. There's a lot coming through for you guys over the course of the next few months. And this is the big lunation that's going to be setting a lot of things into motion. And there's going to be a lot of learning to be had. Okay, moving along. Moving along. We're going to get to Virgos and Virgo risings. Virgo, Virgo, Virgo. Oh, this is a full moon in your 8th house. It's financial house. For some of you, you're doing something different with your clients. Some of you are getting very, very overwhelmed with debt. You're getting overwhelmed with the idea of having to pay something off or how you're going to afford something, and wanting to know when there's going to be some level of change in the way that you are connecting with people. Because a full moon in your 8th squaring Mars in that 11th house of friends, network, and clients, it's making you wonder, what are you doing or what can you do differently to get people to trust you? Don't be surprised by that. You have the right tools. You have the right people on your team. It's going to take a different tactic. It's going to take a different way of thinking, a different way of communicating. And for a lot of you, it needs to come from a place that is authentic and not just spitting out the details, not just spitting out the words. Now, some of you can feel a change coming in your career. You can feel a change coming in your goals in the future. The way that you felt a month ago compared to now about the ideas for the future have adjusted. And some of you are looking at your partnerships differently. Some of you are looking at how you are going to move forward, and you're preparing for something. Many of you are preparing for the worst. Some of you are going to be stuck in levels of isolation soon. And it is going to be the decisions of the next few weeks that are going to put you into a place where you feel insecure and isolated. It's not fun. The people that you have trusted are going to show a different side, and it's going to trigger those old wounds and the old insecurities. You guys have a lot more triggers coming through than other people. Yes, Pluto's in your 5th house of love, luck, joy, romance, happiness, and children, but Mars in that 11th house of friends is soon going to come into your 12th house of the unknown, the unseen, and endings. Many of you are going to be forced into some level of isolation. You can't handle the vibration of people anymore. You can't handle these situations with certain people anymore. So you're going to take a step back and withdraw. And you're going to watch some things play out. Expect a different vibration in the people that you surround yourself with, almost like a hesitancy in certain people around yourself because of Mars slowing down after this full moon. Slowing down, unable to continue making certain decisions, feeling a lot more emotionally compulsive and reactive, feeling the overwhelm in the people that you surround yourself with. We have the 7 of Cups and we have the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands is a man on a deck. You can't tell if the boat is coming or going. Can't really tell if it's sunrise or sunset. Regardless of the fact, the man is still there. He's still there to either see that ship off and watch it sail away, or he's there for the arrival. For many of you, it is going to be a sail away. And there is an overwhelm in the energy based off of what can be potentially leaving soon, and how much of an isolation you're going to feel that you're in. Now, with the High Priestess energy, there's going to be a lot of room for spiritual growth over the next 2 months. That spiritual growth will then be able to allow for you to adjust the way that you are connecting with people. That brainstorming growth going within is going to, again, adjust the way that you connect with certain people with that High Priestess energy. Listen to your intuition. Meditate in the best ways that's good for you. And honestly, Virgo risings, being productive is the best way for you. Sitting still is not your forte. Have your projects, have your puzzles, have those things that help you manage your anxiety. Because whenever it comes to the combative energy of the weeks ahead, you need to be prepared. You need to be prepared with that Four of Swords. Your last card is the Queen of Swords. There's a lot of harsh truths that are going to be coming to the surface soon. A lot of hard realities that need to be looked at, that need to be tuned into, that are really going to test the shape of you. And the person that you are is meant to start to change. And that's not just over the next 2 months, babies. That's actually over the next 2 years. But for us to get closer to that level of evolution and change that you're going to fall into, we have to have the conflict. We have to have the overwhelm. We have to have the triggers in your surroundings with all of these people for you to finally tune into who you're going to be next in this new form of truth about you. Expect some falling away. Certain people in your surroundings, certain people that you love, certain people that you trust, expect some falling away. But also expect a whole new level of downloads and internal truths and observations to come through afterwards. A whole different level of healing afterwards. Okay. Okay. Moving along. We're going to get to Libras and Libra risings. Oh, my loves. So this is a full moon in your 7th house of friends and network and clients and colleagues and legal matters. Squaring Mars in your 10th house of career and public image, your hopes for the future, fathers, things that have to do with the family. This full moon is also squaring Pluto in the 4th. And for you guys especially, there is fears around the home life, fears around family, fears around mothers and motherhood. These fears will not last forever. There is some kind of hard truth that is in the energy. And the way that you saw the future 6 months ago is not the way that you see the future now. And again, many of you have made certain decisions that have been your own undoing. You have released the past. You have walked away. You have moved away from certain things and did everything in your power to create something new, a new version of you. And now, following this full moon, more and more people will see that new version of you, that new direction, this new path, this new beginning that is unfolded. Now, some people, they're not going to like the new you. They're going to want the old you. And they're going to try to push every one of your buttons to get you back to the old you, the way that they had you before. And you need to work on your inner strength and not let that take over. You need to let go of that other side. Let go of that commitment. Let go of whoever is holding you back. There's so much happiness and peace and work that's going to follow over the next 2 years, but we need the shakeups first. And right now we're still in the shakeup energy. And for many of you, the way that you see a certain partnership, the way that you've been dealing with a legal matter, the way that you've been dealing with the other side, full moon in Aries, is adjusting. Something has arrived, something has shown itself. You have been seen differently. And now the adjustments that are necessary for that to go well, for that to succeed, is very much a part of the energy. We have the Magician card. We have the Fool card. We have the Two of Wands and we have the Justice. And put all these up together right here. Oh, you have changed. The South Node in your first house has made you more aware of how to be comfortable in your own skin, where you need to make adjustments in your body, in the way that you see your body. And it is truly adjusted so much within you. You feel things differently now. And that person that has come through is almost like it's been conjured. You have created so much around yourself. You have been adjusting so much around yourself. For some of you, that has required medicine. It's required treatments. It's required a whole different care in your routine. Regardless of the fact, there is something very, very new falling into place. New in your career, new within your family, new within your partnership. There's something very, very new in this energy for you. And for a lot of you, there is a new path that we have desired, we have wanted, and it makes us feel far more in balance than we realized. We have to make the adjustment. And there can be happiness in the future. I'm not going to promise it in the immediate. For some of you, it can be, but there is happiness in the future for a lot of you. For others, there is going to be tests of your tenacity, tests of your strength, and tests for what you desire. I feel a cockiness around some of you. For some of you, it's a necessary cockiness. You absolutely feel like you are in control. And many of you are. But some of you are not. And I won't stop saying that some of what's about to happen next is your own undoing. You created the situation. But not everybody's in a negative situation. Many of you are in a positive one. You have broke an old pattern. You have broke an old way of doing things. You don't look at the mirror and see the worst of the worst. You see something better. And you feel calmer. You feel steadier. And you're feeling good in your own skin. And I want that for you. But not everybody is in their skin right now. Some people are letting their egos get in the way. And they think they have control of the other side. And that other side is going to humble them. The thing about these mercurial cards like this one is we think that we can create whatever we want. And some can. We can conjure the future, conjure what we desire. We can have certain levels of control with this Magician card. But mercurial can also have fallacy. And there's trial and error even in alchemy. And some people are going to mix the wrong things together and they're going to create more trouble. Are you creating trouble? Can you tell the difference? Or are you seeing the possibilities of something? That new opportunity, the new path, doing what is right for other people so you can have something better later on. Doing the right thing is the best thing right now. A lot of you are going to be able to do that. Others are going to struggle. Let go of the past. Let go of the old wounds. And really take into account the way that you see the future, because that future is changing immensely. Okay. Moving along. We're going to get to Pluto and Pluto rising. Scorpio. Scorpio risings. I suddenly just had like a very big vision of Pluto, and I think the time that I'm recording this, it's getting close to the moon Pluto square. So I'm feeling something right now. And it just kind of hit right at the end of when I was recording that Libra stuff. Anyways, moving along. This is a full moon in the 6th house, which is work house. It's a full moon squaring both of our chart rulers, both of them, Pluto and Mars. There is an action that needs to be taken and for many people, the actions that you are taking, the communication that you are having, the connections that you are making right now, they're very pivotal. And what's going to come up here in the near future can have a very public aspect to it. Shortly after these next two lunations, this full moon in Aries, and then that new moon in Scorpio, there is going to be Mars in the 10th. And over the next few months following these lunations, there's a very big energy that's got a very public element to it. And some of you are ready. Some of you are not. We're starting to feel something line up. We're starting to feel something fall into place. And it feels so successful. It feels like we can achieve something. It feels like things are finally a little bit more in balance. All this time of waiting for the seeds to grow, waiting for things to fall into place is finally starting to take shape. And some of you, that's right. That's exactly right. In some ways, a lot of the things are starting to take shape. However, for some of you, whatever's taking shape is going to be a hard hit. And it really kind of comes down to, again, are you letting your emotions get the better of you? Or are you taking diligent steps to troubleshoot and let go of that old dynamic way of behavior? But things are starting to fall into place. I'm not going to be surprised with any of you saying that you've been really busy, you've been meeting new people, especially around this full moon, because now Mercury is in your first house. And for many of you, you've been making contacts, you've been planting the seeds, you've been working towards something for so long, and now it's starting to seem like, oh, that's starting to work, that's starting to have an effect, that's starting to come around, that's starting to benefit me. I did the work. And now the levels of achievement and success that can hit in the weeks ahead, weeks, not days, not just around the full moon, the weeks ahead, the level of achievement and convincing and the work and the balance, there's so much to celebrate. There's going to be so much to celebrate. We have the Justice card, we have the Ten of Cups, but we also have this Tower card. Some of what we start to do is going to be very bittersweet from here. We're going to see something start to gain some level of success, some level of achievement, but for a lot of us, it will be short-lived. We're going to go into something very, very confident in November, a confidence that really starts to boom after this full moon in Aries, a vibration that starts to set in, that we're seeing a path and an opportunity, but we're also seeing another thing fall apart, not be as strong, not be as capable. And for some of you, that's going to make a very big dynamic change in your home life, within your family. The whole idea with some of the energy that we're moving forward with next is getting Pluto back into Aquarius, back into the fourth house of home life, and family. Expect rockiness to come through in one area while also having achievement and success in another. Because the energy around our chart rulers, plural, both of them, Mars and Pluto, is so key in their aspects moving forward that one thing will take center stage and another will fall to the wayside. You're going to have to make plans to go into a new direction, to meet with new people, to go into a new area, to move into a new home, to go into a new community, to do something different, because that old place is not an option. That old dynamic is not an option. Living with your parents is not an option. Something is changing, something is adjusting. And it is okay to feel sad about that loss, to mourn whatever is falling apart. But the gains, the other side of that, the gains are going to be so big. And something I haven't talked about for a while, but I did say this. Not all of you listened to me last year. I mean, literally, because you weren't listening to me at all yet. And I don't mean that in the negative sense. But one of the things I said after the Mars rebirth that actually happened in November of 2023, that everything would be preparing us for these levels of massive gains, adjustments in our career, adjustments in how we see the future. There's a very key energy that is going to come through and show us a possibility of something in November and December. And in some ways, we are going to be ready for it. In other ways, we are not. In other ways, we're going to have some unfinished business pull us away from that. But we're going to see the opportunity throughout November and December. There is something very deeply successful and vibrant, and again, happy. We got this 10 of Cups energy. This is so big. And it has been a long time coming. That is about to play out over the months ahead. But right now, we are laying groundwork. We are literally doing work, adjusting our routine, adjusting our appearance, adjusting the people that we are working with and connecting with. So that way we can take that opportunity when it arrives. And November ain't that far away. Okay. Moving along. We're going to get to Sagittarius and Sagittarius risings. Okay. I know you guys are not happy. This is a full moon in your 5th house of love, luck, joy, romance, happiness, and children, squaring Mars in your 8th house of money. The ruler of your 10th house of career and the ruler of your 7th house of relationships is now in your 12th house. For a lot of Sagittarius risings, this is a shift in luck into something unknown. And that's not always a fun place to be. Feeling like you have been cast to the side, feeling like things are not going to go your way, feeling like your luck has shifted and someone that you thought you could trust, that you thought was going to be a strong partner for you, that you thought was going to go and be on your side, something has adjusted. Why do I say that? Because Jupiter just turned retrograde in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships and legal matters. Jupiter just turned retrograde. For many of you, the opinion of something or someone has changed, and the way that you connect with certain people is changing. Some of you need to prepare for exactly that, or you weren't prepared and it has already hit. It's a little different for everybody. I do expect a lot of overwhelm and insecurities for Sagittarius rising over the next few weeks. We just had Venus in your 12th. Now we've got Mercury going through your 12th, but we're also about to have the sun in the 12th. There's going to be insecurities. There's going to be overwhelmed. There is going to be feelings of isolation that set in. Something is shifting in love. Something is shifting in your luck. Something is shifting tied to another person. And for a lot of you, it's not going to go well right now. You have to go through a bit of a dark period over the next few weeks for you to see the light and the benefit in what you're going to need to change in November and December, because you will be making very big changes in November, December. You will be making a lot of choices and weighing out your options and the selections once they start to come through, once we get into November and December. But for the next few weeks, it's not going to feel fun. It's going to feel harsh. It's going to feel frustrating. It's going to feel very, very draining, but it will not last forever. I know it's not an easy energy for you guys. I know this because I was meditating on it. Now, many of you are just making active decisions to change something anyways, to go into a new direction, to go into like foreign territory for a loved one, for this shift in your luck. Like you're making an active decision to do it. But other people are not necessarily making the active decision. The decision has been made for you. And it really kind of comes down to what has happened since Mercury went into your 12th house. And that just started. Remember what I said in the week ahead forecast? I'm like, somewhere between Sunday and Monday, Monday the 14th, like there is the arrival, there is news, there's something coming through. But for you guys, that arrival, that news was very, very blindsiding. And for a lot of you, it had to do with the decision of another person about you. You didn't even get a choice. So do not be surprised in the levels of isolation that start to come up over these next few weeks, but it's not going to last forever. In fact, it will be very, very short-lived. Okay. A lot of you, either you need to get prepared for some hard conversations that are going to come up, or you weren't prepared for the ones that already hit, because I know we're in the middle of the week right now. And again, there can be a lot of overwhelm in a multitude of areas with that 7 of Cups. It's a little bit of a harder energy for you guys. It's a little bit of a triggering energy for you guys. And again, we have these old fears that we need to get over. And it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a few weeks. Now, the good news is you're about to have Venus come into your first house. Immediately following this full moon's perfection, Venus moves into Sagittarius. Starts the same day. But it's not going to immediately feel like the benefit. It's going to take a few days. But the good news about Venus in your first is it draws attention to you. A new level of attention. Attention from a loved one. Attention from friends, from clients, from people that you surround yourself with. A work level of attention. Why do I say work? Because Venus rules your 6th house, which is a work house. It's a house of service, how you care for yourself and how you care for other people. There is a level of attention that is being drawn onto you once Venus comes into your first. People will see you differently. And if you've been feeling that level of frustration and isolation already, then that level of attention will bring you out of it. But I don't think you just need Venus in the first. I actually think that you need both Venus and Mercury in the first. And Mercury is not moving into your first house until the first week of November. So I feel like it's a mixed bag. Like you're doing your best. You're doing your best. You're telling your truth. You're talking about what happened. You're trying to appease everybody. You're trying to be happy with everything that is going on. You are trying to work in all the ways that you can. You're trying, but you're not able to make all of the decisions yourself. There are decisions from another person that are impacting you, and they're going to potentially take you back to that old insecurity, that old way of thinking, that old vibration. It's going to get a little bit tough, but then there's going to be some kind of other opportunity that's going to come through, and that opportunity is going to force you to make some decisions that in many ways it's going to be overwhelming. These are not new cards. These are the first cards all over again. It's going to force you to make a decision that's going to be very overwhelming in a lot of ways. And for many of you, you're not prepared for. What I'm talking about with November and December is going to be Mercury retrograde in your first house. Now, that's going to be opposite of Jupiter, your chart ruler, in Gemini. Some of you are going to be in a double whammy situation very, very soon. And I'm warning you of that now if you're not already aware. Some of you you're aware. Mercury came into your 12th and you became aware something is done. Somebody else made a decision that you were done. But I don't think it's going to last forever. I think it's going to be very short-lived. And the vibration of energy that will be there once we get into November and December will be very, very different. And a lot of attention, a lot of decisions, a lot of necessary changes, you will be making them. So when you are feeling the waves of insecurity now, Sagittarius, when you're feeling the doubt, when you're feeling the frustration, when you're feeling the sadness, when you're feeling the guilt, when you're feeling whatever you're feeling, that's temporary. It ain't gonna last forever. It really won't. And the adjustments that you will start to make afterwards, once we get into November and December, so afterwards, they're all yours. And that's going to be a better energy. But it's going to also lead to you choosing to make a lot of decisions. It's going to impact your partnerships, your commitments. It's going to impact your family. It's going to impact your future. It's going to impact the home. It's going to impact everything. It will impact everything. So work through your emotions, process, let it come through, let it come out, deal with what you have to deal with, knowing that once we get to November and December, a lot more energy is going to be on you. You will be in charge, which can be terrifying, but for different reasons. Okay, we're not going to get into that. Moving along. Oh, for Capricorns and Capricorn risings. Oh, my loves, my loves, my loves, my loves. This is a full moon in your fourth house of home life, family, roots, ancestry, matrons, mothers, genetics, mothers. Mars, the ruler of your fourth house of home life, and family, is in your seventh house of relationship. Your mother, the mother of another, your mother-in-law. There is an adjustment in your home life. And for many of you, the adjustment that's going to start in this full moon and take up the next 6 months, not your decisions. It's going to be the decision of another person. Disruptive decisions of another person. Disruptive behavior. And many of you are going to be forced to do some things differently, to do some things on your own, and to focus your energy elsewhere. There are truths that need to come to light, that need to be had, that are going to make an impact throughout this full moon, throughout this wave, and throughout this energy. Now, I do like this full moon for the cardinal signs, but I also feel like there's so much energy here that you guys are ready to pull your hair out, especially with Pluto being back in your first. But again, the great news about Pluto being in your first, guys, is the thing that you're almost done with it. You're almost done with it. You're almost ready to put this all behind you and have a whole different vibration to deal with once Pluto goes into your second house of money. Now, good news for you is Pluto in Aquarius is an exalted Pluto. He's good when he goes into Aquarius. He's far more solid when he goes into Aquarius. He's changing the energy around the people that you look at, that trust you, and you will feel far more capable in yourself once Pluto goes back into Aquarius. But that's not going to happen until November. This full moon is going to be something that impacts the next 6 months, and it's impacting Pluto. It's changing a vibration. It's changing the way that you're connecting with people. It's changing the way that you're working with clients. It's changing the people that you want to surround yourself with. There's so much adjustment for the cardinal signs. It's really like just wanting to throw things against the wall to see what sticks. Everything's activated. Your career house, your family house, your relationship house, and your first house. So much is impacted. And the more truths come out, the more hard decisions are made, whether they are your decisions or the decisions of other people. The more decisions are made, the more you're going to start to realize how much you are better off on your own. Only worrying about you, only worrying about what makes you happy, what makes you feel solid, what makes you feel sound. This is a boss bitch card. This is the woman that planted her own seeds, grew her own crops, harvested them, and sold them herself for her own money in her own pocket. No, no, no. This is a boss bitch card. Sometimes, dudes, you got to be a boss bitch too. So I'm talking to you also. Sometimes you have to take a moment to realize the best way to succeed is to do it on your own. I'm not done with this card. We're going to add the Empress. We're going to add the Six of Swords. Now, are we all going to see a decision in this full moon directly the day of the 17th? No. But are you going to see some very interesting truths and decisions that are going to come up over the next 6 months and the next 6-month cycle from this? That are you, for many of you, it's going to put you into a position of leaving things behind? Yes. Yes. Leaving something or someone behind that no longer serves your greater good. For you to no longer feel these levels of insecurity and fear, you have to walk away. You have to move away. You have to heal. And immediately following this full moon perfecting, Venus in Scorpio is going to move into Sagittarius. It's going to move into that 12th house. And it is going to make you consider even more what you need to let go of and who you need to let go of. Just because the way that we used to do things worked so well then doesn't mean that we stick with tradition. Traditions change. The people that you share your space with change. A lot of traditions come from our home life, from our family. We grow learning certain things from our elders. 4th house, full moon. Traditions change. Now remember, this full moon should be an eclipse, but it's not. It's not. We will not have our final Aries eclipse until springtime. And that's a big reason why I keep saying, like, so much of this energy is impacting the next 6 months, because this should be an eclipse and it's not. So the way that you see homes, the way that you see family, the way that you connect with people, the way that you see certain commitments, they are changing because you are evolving. You are leveling up. You are looking at new opportunities, and you are taking steps in a new direction that helps you overcome the fears of the past. Take those steps. Commit to yourself. Commit to your healing. And stop taking everything so personally. Okay. Okay. Moving along. We're going to get to Aquarius and Aquarius risings. Go back. Okay, Aquarius, sorry. Okay, my loves, Aquarius. This is a full moon in your 3rd house. It's a travel house. It's not a big deal. It's not a big situation. It's not a big thing for you guys. For other people, though, it's a whole different ballgame. And I think that a lot of you will see the adjustments in your surroundings and who you surround yourself with. And considering as soon as this full moon is over, Venus is going to move you into your 11th house of friends. I think what you will also see is a benefit to who you are allowing into your surroundings now, who you are trusting, because the people that you are starting to let in, the people that you are starting to surround yourself with, they're helping you work through your past insecurities. They are helping you move out of the shadows and start to take back your personal power. The thing about Pluto in your 12th is it's making you face all of those old wounds from the past that you don't want to face, that you just want to bury down, that you have buried down. And it's bringing all the insecurities up to the front. Here's the deal. The people that you surround yourself with now compared to before, they love you. They support you. They want you to succeed. They don't want you to be so scared of betrayal. They're going to help you get through the next part of your situationships, of your relationships, of whatever that legal matter is about to be. Oh, when Mars enters Leo in November, there's something that is going to get exposed. Certain truths that are going to come to light soon. Now, for some of you, that's wishful thinking. Your cards, they don't want to stay up here. I apologize. Now, for some of you, whatever comes to light and is exposed about that other person, that truth that needs to come through, whatever gets exposed is going to put you back into a position of power. But everything over the next few weeks following this full moon and going into that new moon in Scorpio that we're going to have at the 1st of November, everything over these next few weeks is sliding certain things into place that you can't see. Not directly. The results of that are not being seen directly, but that doesn't mean that they're not happening. That doesn't mean that they're not a part of the information or the situation. And there is some very big judgment coming once Pluto comes back into your 1st and Mars goes into your 7th. And for some of you, you will be the one getting judged. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. Pluto in your 1st is not going to be easy. Coming from a Pluto conjunct the ascendant person, that is my placement. Pluto conjunct my ascendant. I work with trauma. I don't care what I say is going to trigger you. It's Pluto conjunct the ascendant, because I see how necessary it is to work with those triggers, overcome, and move towards something better. The other side is going to get exposed. And whenever that exposure happens, there's going to be acting out. There's going to be frustration. There's going to be arguments. And the people that you surround yourself with, the love that you feel from your surroundings, is what's going to help you feel safe in this energy. We have the Judgment card. We have the Justice card. And we have the Queen of Wands. We have been pursuing something for a while. We've been doing everything in our power to let go of our fears and insecurities. And it is going to take a righteous act of truth to expose the betrayal, to expose the frustration, to expose the negligence. And it will be the people that you surround yourself with that will be so helpful in this energy. Your tribe over the next 2 months is so goddamn important. I cannot stress it enough. Your tribe is incredibly important for you guys. We have this Page of Swords, the new truth that needs to come to light. We have the Seven of Swords, stabbing in the back, betrayal. Again, that level of frustration. But we also have this Lovers card. And what I'm looking at is Venus going into your 11th house of friends and network and clients and colleagues, your tribe. Who you're sharing your space with is very important right now. Who you call your friend is very important right now. What you are doing next in your routine, at work, in the things that have gone on around your family. Whatever you start to surround yourself with, whatever you've been dealing with, the next steps are going to have exposure. That level of exposure, for some of you, it's either going to put you into a place of detriment, and if that's the case, that's your own undoing, or it's going to put you into a better position of power, either power in the situation when Pluto comes into the 1st, or being able to live with a truth finally being known. And that again comes from this page, the Justice and the Judgment. I apologize. I'm trying to get those in order. There is so much truth coming to light for you guys. It just isn't in the moment. This full moon in itself is not in a dynamic place. For some of you, it's going to be stuff with your siblings, maybe a little bit of travel, doing some stuff, with the neighbors or something like that, getting things ready for the neighborhood Halloween stuff. Like in the moment, not crazy. The vibration that follows, that's going to be impacting the other person, the other side, and other people. Wait it out. Stay patient. Do the healing work. Let go of the past. Process the trauma that has been brought back up to the surface. And know that you are coming out of the other side of that tunnel better than when you went in. And as we get closer to these next 2 months, we will also see themes that are coming back around that go all the way back to January and February this year, when there was a lot of pressure being put on you. A lot of that pressure that's going to be put on you coming back around, but with the other side being far more exposed. Be aware of that. Okay. Moving along. We're going to get to Pisces and Pisces risings. Oh, my loves, my loves. This is a full moon in your second house of money, your assets, your stuff, spending money, doing something different to make money, looking at some new opportunity in regards to career, in regards to the future. We have something that's starting to come to light and wanting to change and how we're connecting with people. Why do I say all of that? Your luck is shifting. For some of you, it's going to be a good thing. For others, not so much. Again, it's a full moon in your second house of money. Venus is in a sextile to Pluto, but then Venus is going to move into your 10th house of career. And Venus is very, very happy in Jupiter's signs. She digs it. She loves it. She's all about it. Let's do this stuff. Now, why do I say your luck is shifting? Because this is a full moon in Aries that's squaring Mars in your 5th house of love, luck, joy, romance, happiness, and children. For some of you, you're spending extra money in the moment because of how much kids cost. Birthday parties. Oh, sports, all those types of things, Halloween costumes, all this kind of stuff. We're spending a little bit of extra money. Some of it we're doing that extra little spending just to make our inner child happy. That's not a bad thing. Some of you are starting to see some possibility of something or someone new that's coming in. That's a big possibility. But a lot of you are going into an energy where you're going to have certain things exposed that you did not want exposed. And that's a different energy to be in. Now, why do I say that? Because I know what follows in these next 2 months. And there's going to be a lot of things going on in your 10th house of career, goals, public image, public things that are going to be known. And some of you, whatever starts to be known, you might not like it. You might not like the truth that comes to light because in a lot of ways, you're not going to be the one that tells it. It's going to be the other. It's going to be your family. It's going to be your partner. It's going to have to do with something and someone else. And some of you are not ready for that. You don't even know what to expect with it. But the thing about Mercury right now being in Scorpio is he likes the finer details, the gritty, nitty details. Let's get to the point, all of the points. knowing that whatever he starts to discover is going to, again, very likely come to light. Truths are coming to light. And a lot of you, again, there's going to be things that are coming to light, getting exposed in the weeks ahead, not so much the full moon. Again, the full moon in the most mundane sense, we're doing something with our money, we're spending some money, we're doing something at work, we're investing in something, 7 of coins, 3 of coins. This is all financial stuff. This is a very big work card, planting our seeds for long-term longevity, long-term prosperity. You have a lot of pentacles. And many of you are trying to do something that is going to give you certain levels of achievement in the long term. You are working through long-term plans that, again, once they are announced in the more positive light, once they are announced, once they come through, once they are put together, you are just letting everybody know the new path that you're going on to. But I know not all of you are dealing with the energy well. The thing about Saturn getting closer and closer to Neptune in your first house is anything that you've done in the past that was untrue with Neptune in the first, when Saturn's going over those areas in the sky where Neptune was before, he's revealing things. He's holding you accountable. And that's the other half of this with the Hermit card and the 4 of coin. There are some things that we have needed to keep very close to our chest, that we've been keeping close to our chest, that we haven't let everybody know. But I'm telling you, the transits coming forward have levels of announcement, positive. Goals being achieved, absolutely. Exposure, even more so. Now, for some of you, whatever gets exposed is going to have to do with health, your health or someone else's health. And it's going to require a lot of planning in regards to who's going to be in charge of what, sharing responsibility in the family and doing what's best for mom, for dad, for grandma, for whoever. But other people, it's not that. And there is reckoning in the vibration for you guys. I said this a long time ago. I haven't said it in a while to you all. Don't get caught telling lies, because those lies have the ability to come back and bite later in the year. We are in the later in the year timeline now. Don't get caught telling lies, because it's going to hurt in the long run. Okay. Okay. I love and appreciate every single one of you. I will talk to everybody very, very soon. Again, if you're wanting to book a reading at the $25 rate, DM me, email me, whatever works best for you. And if I'm not answering you immediately, it's because I'm doing something like this. It is what it is. I'll talk to everybody very, very soon. Subscribe.